Hello, welcome to Prequel, Sequel, Requel, the show where we pick a film and give it a prequel, a sequel, and a requel. What are you laughing at? With me on this episode, Dom Hudson. Say hello, Dom.
Hello.
Noel Curry.
Ow.
Chris Lumb. Hello. Tom King.
Oh, let me just put this delicious beverage down. Hello.
And Eddie French.
Hi.
Today's programme is brought to you by Tom King and his many sponsors, is Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the enchanting family tale.
Traguna, Acoides, Tracorum, Sanctus Dei.
Nazis.
Prequel, establish the law. Sequel, then give us some more. Prequel, not the same as before. Prequel, sequel, requel.
Hold on tight for a magical, musical, fun-filled journey. When young Charlie, Carrie and Paul move to a small village during World War II, they discover their host, Miss Price, Angela Lansbury, is an apprentice witch. Although her early attempts at magic create hilarious results, she successfully casts a travelling spell on an ordinary bedknob, and they fly to the fantastic animated isle of Naboombu to find a powerful spell that will save England. Also starring David Tomlinson, Mary Poppins, and Roddy McDowell. Bedknobs and Broomsticks is a heartwarming.
It's a fucking mess.
It's a fantastic, heartwarming adventure.
That's a very Disney word.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Adventure. Hang on, I've got to get through this. Bedknobs and Broomsticks is a heartwarming adventure your family will love sharing again and again. Unless you rent it.
Yeah.
Okay, right then. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Let's start with the prequels, which is always a good way to start. Dom, let's go with you first. What have you got for us?
Okay, my prequel is set a little bit prehistoric. Dino has gone missing, and Wilma decides to use the occult to find him. So, requiring the use of the clutch in Fred's car, she must fly around the town to find him. So she uses magic.
What film are we talking
He's
about?
talking about Flintstones.
Let me get that.
Did you watch the wrong film?
I didn't see back, mate.
Let me get that. Let me get that.
Where is the clutch in Fred's car? It's mainly feet powered. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but
not-
he needs.
Oh, he's got a clutch.
Yeah, he's got It's actually a squirrel.
It's a squirrel clutch.
I meant his cock.
The reason that it's a crossover with the Flintstones is because it's called Bedrocks and Broomsticks.
I knew there'd be a clever reason.
You did tell me you had a joke prepared.
That's my one joke tonight, audience.
So don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
That's pretty much all I've got. Short and sweet, but carry on.
That's fine. Well, even the box has committed suicide.
So where's the broomsticks come in?
Yeah.
I think it could
She was originally sweeping the floor with part of a dinosaur, which was a broomstick.
I would think it would be a rather fluffy flamingo that you held by the legs.
Flamingos weren't invented by them. God didn't invent them at that time.
Are
I'm
they
not a theologian, you are.
flamingos in?
you.
I think the real question is for a flamingo in Flintstones canon.
Eventually, but you have to wait a long time.
No, do we?
There are cannons in Flintstones. They're all.
There's always canon in everything.
Let's not go there. So no.
Fucking hell, we're failing at the
Is that
answer
it?
today, aren't
I
we?
think we could bring in the animated bit from Bewitched as well. You know, in the title sequence, bring that in.
Cool.
So, well-
that could be the broomstick bit.
The thing is.
Are we
is
still
that-
on Dom's?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was watching Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and I was just looking at how much animation they'd stole from other Disney properties.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the lion is, for instance, from Robin Hood, same as the elephant and things like that. The bear is obviously Baloo,
Yep.
and they do that in a lot of stuff. So
Back then, though,
They do.
they only had. They didn't have as many artists, one artist per character. So that guy that drew the lion in the other one drew the lion in that one because that's the only lion he could fucking draw.
But they actually, you mean the recycle, the sequence, don't you?
yeah,
The actual-
recycle.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
that's
dance sequences. They'll go,
Well,
stick that one in from Robin Hood. It'll be all right.
Jungle Book and Robin Hood share a lot.
Yeah.
How do they? You go. Oh, all of a sudden they're dressed in like merry old Nottingham clothes.
Yeah, they just have the clothes.
They just change the clothes.
Yeah.
They bring them a fresh wardrobe and they
There was
change.
somebody in the football
That means they've had
match
to
wearing a
redraw
Mickey
it then,
Mouse
done
t-shirt,
it. So
apparently.
just one man with drawing a lion. They can't. How could they change just one bit of it?
Because they have a multiplane camera. So they have part of the
They're clever bastards, aren't they?
part of the
These animators.
drawing. So you've got the background, you've got everything on the different planes,
I
and
spy
that's how
the
you change
You
stuff.
can use the original sketches as
Don't
well.
forget to watch our Disney multiplane camera documentary that's coming soon.
There is
Sponsored
actually a
by-
really good multiplane camera documentary
Yeah,
done by Disney.
yeah, it's a good one.
I've seen the multiplane camera.
How many did they use the multiplane camera? They'll use it a couple of times, won't they, in this?
There wasn't
Anyway.
multi-planing going on in this one. I think
Okay,
it was all
well,
quite
let's move on. You finish yours. Was that it? You finished it?
That's literally mine.
Right.
One joke.
It was right.
Okay, well, I'm, as usual, going to pick kind of a minor character.
That's good.
Imagine it.
I think I might have picked the same one.
Yes.
That's
Well,
the
shall
thing.
we do it
The
together?
minor.
Well,
Shall
it's
we
all
go?
right. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
chosen
Okay.
the
Well,
minor.
we'll compare notes because
You've done it about the minor as well.
I've chosen.
I don't remember a minor being in the 40 minutes that I watched.
Oh, there were three of them. One of them's knob was magic.
Is it a black knob because he's a minor? Coal dust and that.
I don't know. No, they were evacuated.
Anyway,
I've chosen the spiv.
I've chosen the spiv.
Right.
oh,
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
so-
do it at the same time.
Yeah,
Let's
so,
see what
I'm
happens.
going for it's the story of how he became a spiv. It's
Yep.
Brucey, obviously.
Yes,
so
it is.
it's
Bruce
lots of,
Forsyth.
opportunities to showcase his dancing.
Yeah.
It's basically going for like a falling down type.
Oh.
And one day all these things go wrong, and they eventually turn him bad. Originally, he thinks he's going to make his fortune because he thinks he's got this rare antique. It's this old Austrian clock that used to belong to King George or something of Salzburg, and he brings it into the antique shop, and the guy in the shop's got one exactly the same, and he goes, "That's a replica," and he says, "You don't get nothing for a pair in this game."
Nice. Okay.
And then
Oh, because I've got it in that he's an orphan. My play your cards right joke happens in this bit, where he's actually an orphan and he gets bet as a part of a game of cards. Unfortunately, straight flush. Just got nothing for a pair, not in this game. So he's raised. Yeah. Well, let's see. You might do another joke, which
there's
I can.
several.
Good. I'm pleased.
Obviously, the dance sequence, which was just the most amazing part of the first film. I was so delighted that they had a 17-minute long dance sequence for no particular reason.
You know what?
I fell asleep.
Was that the extended
So
version?
was Brucey.
And which managed to offend pretty much every culture in the world. As this is a prequel and it's set in earlier times, I'm aiming for it to be more offensive than the last one.
Yeah.
So it's really like people blacked up doing African dances.
I want them blacked up doing European stuff. Well,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no need for blacking up, but they
Okay.
just will
They
do it
just
anyway. Yeah.
forced to
To
have
be
it.
offensive.
So
But,
before they do like a Dutch sort of clog dance, just get on the boot polish
yes.
as well. That's the most.
The Dutch do like to black up.
They do, don't they?
Appropriately.
If you're from Holland, stop it.
Stop being from Holland.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask them to do that.
We're sponsored by Fly Holland this episode. Well, what an unfortunate coincidence.
And then, so after the dance number, he goes to, he's a bit down about the antiques, so he goes to his favourite chocolate shop to get a flake, because
Right.
that's his favourite bar, and he goes, they don't have any flakes, and he goes, oh, give us a twirl, then.
Another classic Brucey
Good.
saying.
No, but I do have. He's raised by a woman called Rose, who scrapes a meagre living describing what is on a board. That's
Rosemary Ford.
Rosemary, what's on the board, Miss Ford?
Yeah.
That's that job. So yeah,
Nice.
that's what she does.
So he gets, this gets him to a worse mood, and things get worse and worse. He ends up selling drugs on the street, and he's got all sorts of uppers and downers. So he's basically getting his coat out and going higher, lower, higher, lower.
I like it. Okay. Very good. Have you got a higher or lower joke?
I don't have a higher or lower.
Can you beat Devil's Joe? We get higher than that.
No, I do have that. The reason that he went bad was because obviously he was just an urchin, just tap dancing for farthings and whatnot, and was doing all right. But then he goes past a beautiful toy shop, and they've got a little train going in the window, and they just put nicer and nicer gifts on the train as it just goes past, and he spends 20 seconds, he memorises them all. There's this really big cuddly toy on it, and that's just too much, and he's just like, I want all of that, I need all of that. And he was asked to, he sort of became a bit of an outsider when he was asked, the only time he went to school, he was asked to name all the planets, and he got most of them. He said, well, which one did I miss? They said, well, Miss World. And he went, oh, that sounds, yeah, Miss World, yum, yum, yum. And he goes off to try and find it. It doesn't exist at the time. So, and he eventually realises that with a flick knife, a cutthroat razor, a jar of vitriol, and a pinstripe suit will do a lot more.
Is vitriol the type of hair pomade?
No. If anything, were he to apply it to his head, he would have much less hair and much more scars.
Oh.
It's a variety of acid. I've gone a bit Graham Greene for that one, to be fair.
that would be horrific. Imagine that would have ruined his career.
Basically, it all ends up he gets high on his own drugs, turns into a pimp, and is selling prostitutes on the street. And at the end, the police come to arrest him, and he goes, Vice to see you, Vice.
Right,
So he gets
okay.
let off.
Very good. Okay. Do you want to do yours now, Tom, then?
Yeah, so I didn't come up with a prequel, but I've come up with a
Why do you start every fucking episode like this? Well, I didn't do.
No.
So they're in the tower.
Right. I came up with a crossover because it was a it's a different spin on it.
Yeah.
All right.
One that's
I
already been
couldn't-
done this episode.
Couldn't get on with the fucking film though.
Yeah.
40 minutes in, I think I might rewatch it, but couldn't get on with it. 40 minutes in. See, there's no Bruce Forsyth jokes in mine because I turned it off before he even appeared. So I'd missed out.
That's
And
your
if-
fault.
You see, if I'd have left it another minute and I'd have seen Brucey, I'd have been fucking well happy because I love Bruce Forsyth.
Who doesn't love Bruce Forsyth?
I'm very sad that he's dead.
He is dead.
But I did love him when I was a kid. Anyway, so I've done a
Stop
crossover.
stalling the time.
No. It's basically like Universal tried to do the monsters like connected universe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like this is a Disney horror universe, so they've crossed over Disney and horror films, and so I've done basically it's Disney versus the Evil Dead or Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
You can't. That's my requel.
Well, we're on the prequels first. And you come up with exactly the same one and everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But the Necronomicon's been lost, and Ash can't remember the words. Klaatu Baradu Nicto. What a nincompoop he is. And there's only one person to help him find it. So Ash tracks down Murder, She Wrote, and they go on a series of musical adventures to get it back, because she's got the only other magical book powerful to help. The Spells of Astaroth.
Or half of the spells.
How does she have it? How does she have it before the film?
It's a crossover. It's after the films. I've said it's not a prequel. It's a crossover.
Okay.
I already said that, didn't I? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a
Did
prequel.
already say that.
It's a crossover.
What you've done is you've done the requel well before
Yeah.
mine. So
So
I
you
say-
can get,
Yeah,
you
what
can get
I've
the
done is-
points because it
what I've
looks
done
like
is-
he's
what I've
even
done is-
doesn't have points.
What I've done is 2 requels.
But
But
also,
it's not a requel because it's got her in it and it's got Murder, She Wrote, and it's basically after. It's not.
Well, you don't get anything for a pair, my love.
This guy.
Well, I don't give a fuck about the points. I was just pleased with Bedknobs and
Well,
Broomsticks.
didn't he do well, ladies
At
and
least, I
gentlemen?
will
Didn't
say
he
this,
do
at
well?
least you brought something to the
Yeah, yeah.
table this time, which
Yeah.
I'm pleased about.
Look, hold
It's
on
the
a minute,
wrong
look
thing.
at that, right? His is exactly the fucking same, and you're not complaining about his one.
I will when he gets to it. You'll get wait till he gets to it.
No,
Right,
you're
okay.
do you know what? I turned on the film and I was like, fucking hell, because I hate Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
What?
I think
Miss
this is-
Miss
Do
Potts.
you know why? Do you know why? Murder, She Wrote. I fucking hate that show. Every week she goes to a town, somebody fucking dies, she's there writing about it, she's never a suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking kill her, everybody stays alive.
Well, it will get written about them in no more episodes.
You know what? It
I
annoys
tell you
me
what,
so
though,
much.
right? Disney did a right good job in being all equalitist because they hired older actors who weren't what you would call necessarily good looking, and put them in leads in family films, which could scare the children. I had fucking Cockney accent as well.
Yeah, I know. Right, okay.
You weren't
Well,
there in the war. You don't know how they spoke.
I'll tell you what, this is taking far too long. Prequel. Okay, mine is Mr. Brown's School Days. This chart's, what was his name? Amelius, wasn't it?
Amelius.
Amelius Brown's younger years at Hogwarts, crossover as well. Yes, crossover. Not happy with the lame spells that he's getting taught by the tutors, you know. He decides to steal Dumbledore's spell book, but he's banished from Hogwarts. He starts to sell off some of the spells until he runs out of them totally. And begins to just make them up, which leads directly into the film. Where he's
If he's
down and out.
actually a trained magician or wizard,
So he's just
why
lying.
is he so surprised when the spells work later?
Well, there's a few things.
I'll tell
Well,
you
he
what,
just
I'm
because
glad
he's
this
gone.
is
He's
not-
gone so far. He's like,
he's-
I don't believe any of this stuff anymore. A bit like Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi.
Spoilers.
He doesn't
You've
want
not
to
seen Last
expose the
Jedi.
wizarding world to a muggle.
Well, I had a few things wrong with film. There's the fact that he's such a con man, and she doesn't like bat an eyelid, does she? When he's going, oh, by the way, I'm a bit of a con man, a bit dodgy me. She's like, yeah, I just want that book. She's like obsessed about the just
Slight
getting.
problem with that though, right?
Alright, go on.
Hogwarts knows all the magical people and sends them a letter. She would have got them when she was a kid.
Not all the magical people get a letter from Hogwarts.
No.
She might have had one
No,
though
no,
because
for
she was.
example,
Yeah, well,
I
they couldn't
don't-
stop Harry getting one. They just kept
you
sending him,
just-
sending
that's
him,
what you're
sending
telling
him.
us.
Yes, but
I think what you're-
but I think you'll notice that Harry is white, as are the majority of people at Hogwarts.
Yeah, but there are Asian.
There are not
didn't
white
want to
people
open a
there.
can of Potter.
There are not many of them, and I find that very difficult to believe.
What? That the one?
She would have got a letter anyway. What are you on about? I didn't say she hadn't got a letter from Hogwarts. She might have done.
Yeah, she's
She's training, isn't she?
Yeah, but
Just
she's
'cause
like.
Yeah, but she's 57.
She's 57. Yeah.
Let's start later
Yeah,
on. You're a bit old for the young person's Hogwarts
She gets the
program.
class.
How old is Harry when he gets his letter?
Oh, he's-
11, first year of
There
Hogwarts.
might have been
She would have got one when she
There
was
might have been an
11.
administration
No,
error.
because that's proved in
there was
Harry
a
Potter.
postal
There
strike.
can't be there can't be a postal strike. Those owls just keep coming, motherfucker. You saw how full the Dursley's roof exploded with letters because they would not stop until they got Harry Potter.
How many times have you seen Harry Potter? You couldn't make
I will
40
say
minutes of this
Harry,
film.
Harry Potter though was an exceptional case, wasn't it? Because of what happened.
Yeah, but
to him.
they
They
were
won't give a mess
Spoiler,
about.
seen Harry
If,
Potter.
if any muggle, if any magical child, and because I imagine that Harry wasn't the only one that was with wank parents, right? Who stopped him, who didn't want him to know about the magical upbringing, right? Oh shit, the fucker's magical. He's done a spell. We better hide him away. So they go and live in a caravan in Rill, hoping that fucking Hogwarts won't find
Yeah.
them. They will find them in a caravan in Rill.
Harry wanted to do it though. Maybe she got her Hogwarts letter earlier on and went, I don't want to do that. I'll go to this Amelius Brown guy because it's just like a quid.
But I'll wait 46 years before I do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I shouldn't have crossed
should we vote on
over.
that?
No, we're not voting yet. We're moving on. We haven't
I
finished.
was trying to move on.
Right, we'll move on to the sequels after
What's,
this hot
Dumbledore's-
topic Potter debate.
What's Dumbledore's spellbook called?
It's called.
It's called Spells for Dummies.
It's called Oranges Aren't
It's
the
called.
Only Fruit.
It's called. I've not seen enough of the Harry Potter stuff to validate my crossover. But
They
clearly,
don't,
you
don't
have.
tell you in that. But
All right, let's move on. Sequel time.
call it.
Okay, it's sequel time. We're just having a laugh in the break. Oh, it's so fun.
We decided not to have a laugh on camera.
No, never.
Too entertaining.
Let's start with Noel this time then. So your sequel, please.
My sequel is Bedknobs.
Pardon?
Bedknobs and Broomsticks 2.
Good title.
Electric, not bamboo. So basically, because if you think about the plot of the first film,
Yeah.
you have a white colonial power going to an island that is, people don't know about it. They steal a vital thing from it, and this island is more advanced than we realize. Basically, Black Panther.
Oh,
'Cause
You're right.
it's,
Yeah.
You know, Nabambu is Wakanda. King Leonidas give him his full name. That was his full name in the film, so he's
What,
going to...
the Gerard Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is going to be a bit in this film where the lion kicks Angelique Lansbury down the well, screaming, "This is the bamboo!"
right.
But basically, they before that happens, he leads an animal uprising. They go off to Angela Lansbury. She bewitches him for a bit. And makes him move by. So there's an extended dance sequence. So it's like
Bruce Forsyth dressed as a rhino.
good. But it's up to date now, so it's much more culturally sensitive.
Oh,
the
right.
dances are actually accurate. They actually get the real dancers in to do it this time.
Yeah.
King Leo is played by an actual lion. They get and they make point it's a relative Cecil lion who got shot, so they're making points like that. It's a very woke film, and that's basically it.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Is there a sequence where the animated characters, like King Lear as one of the and takes a really badly drawn baby cartoon character, throw it off a cliff because it's been drawn so badly, like they do in Trio
Sure. I thought you were trying to get Badly Drawn Boy to do the soundtrack.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. We've got to stay around then now. So my sequel is Bedknobs and Broomsticks 2, again, original title. Against the Nazi Death Machine. That's the subtitle.
It's pronounced Nazi.
Well, Nazi. You could say however you want.
No, in the film it's pronounced Nazi.
I'm sure somebody says Nazi.
They probably do.
Yeah. It's one of old guys. Did you think the old guys on the old guard, they should have just got the cast of Dadzan?
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, I think, why didn't they just get him? That's that right there.
Taylor made.
Anyway, so this is set 1 month after the events of Bedknobs and Broomsticks 1. So obviously we'd have to CGI or go back in time and notice. This picks up with Miss Price still living with the kids. She receives word that Mr. Brown has been taken prisoner in a POW camp. Oh. Yeah. She decides to rally her witch friends to head across the channel to the front and help take down the Nazis, and save Mr. Brown. It's still a rip-roaring musical. Features a hilarious scene where Miss Price torments Hitler with his own paintings. You can imagine them all coming alive. What the hell?
Not just critiquing them, going, this is shit.
No.
What's all this work on that?
Give us a bit more of your Hitler impression there, Chris.
It's like, oh,
is he not even going 9 and
9, the painting is alive, all that thing. And they're like chasing him down the road.
No.
Do you like the stuff at the end of the movie? You won't know this.
No, I don't know.
The armour comes up.
Yeah.
Lo-fi that.
Right, okay.
The armour comes to life at the end of the movie and starts like
not at the museum.
kicking Nazis up the
Imagine the playing Quidditch.
Yeah. But the obviously these are all it's a Disney film, Disney sequel. Nobody ever gets killed. None of the Nazis. They're just shown to be running away all the time.
Yeah. They just have a hilarious tumble.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Hitler ends up
films of parents.
Yeah, Hitler ends up in a barrel or
and
with
it's
his
got
face in a pie.
Yeah.
It's got a load of new songs in there.
Oh, he's taking kidney and
featuring. There's one called "Keep Up Your Guard."
Oh, good.
Because I thought that'd be good because there's guards and keep up your guard, meaning like a double thing.
They have one about them getting ready in the morning, doing deodorant, and it's called Right Guard.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Sequence up for grabs.
So
but
when they're singing "Keep Up Your
Will somebody
Guard,"
please send Tom some big products?
Get them out of the way. Is that
let's say that again.
when you're singing "Keep Up Your Guard," they're levitating the guard.
Yeah. So it's like a double.
Thank you for finding a pun in there.
Yeah.
Good of you.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'll add that. I'll run out of space.
Yeah.
So that's mine. Yes. That's what have you got first?
What have I got?
Is it mine? Is that what you've got?
No, it's not.
He's got another people.
I even proved that I wrote mine down at 4 minutes past
It's not
4
countdown, mate.
I know.
So you're working.
Mine was called Bedknobs in the Underground, right, and it's set in 60s London, right. Now, Charlie and the other kid, the one with the knob power, they are the bestest robbers in all of London, and they use the power of the knob to rob places by saying stuff like, take me to the London Royal Mint, and then nicking all the money that is there. They do similar heists at museums and art galleries and stuff. Now, the Krays hear about this, the Kray twins, right, 60s gangsters, hear about this magical knob, and Tom Hardy's portrayal of the twins tries to get hold of it. Now the kids try to find Eglantine. Well, they're not kids now. They're like
Yeah.
Well,
older.
they're like 20 in their mid to late 20s.
Mid to late 20s, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
So the older kids try to find Eglantine to get her out. Murder She Wrote and help, but she's in an old people's home with dementia. And I've written in brackets. I don't know why. Close brackets. So they visit her and nick the book.
Were they not aware of the medical reasons behind dementia in the 60s?
No, it
They're
would
not
have been
really.
totally
Neurology's really.
They might have
Yeah,
been put her in there.
She was in an asylum.
Claiming she was a witch.
It wasn't the 1860s.
Yeah, there were still lobotomized people in the 60s, weren't they?
Right, so they give her the electric chair.
Anyway, her head don't work.
certainly.
Her head don't work anymore. She can't say the words, right? So they go in with the flying bed, use the knob power to get the book back, and then the girl one learns the spells because she's they have to break her out of juvie first, right?
Right.
Don't know what she's in for. Then they go on a magical rampage through the grave ranks, ending in a final showdown in the British Museum. Where they bring to life all of the stuff in there using the power light and have a big
Like
fight.
Night of the Museum that
like
you mentioned already.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So you give away your own plot earlier than you needed to.
You do like to show you're working, don't you?
I do. It's like that. But
Do you want to check those as you roll that?
Well,
Yeah, let's check you. Yeah, check your working, like I say.
I just put where
Well,
they
he's got
bring to, and then it stops there.
He has got it wrote down there.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Hastily
That's,
typed
The whole thing.
all his plus and minuses add up.
and it is definitely a sequel.
Yes,
Proper sequel.
we can confirm that's a sequel. Okay, Eddie, what have you got for us?
I have got the film where there are two brilliant things about this film. One is Bruce Forsyth, who's gone into a lot of detail over Brucey. I think Brucey's bit, as far as I'm concerned, is covered for me. The other one is when Paul asks, quite innocently, "What's that got to do with my knob?" Yeah. In this
There's
one,
no humour in that whatsoever.
no, but in this one, but that's it. It's not funny. It's important, which is why my sequel is devoted entirely to finding out what it has to do with Paul's knob. That's what we need to do. So we find out that Paul's knob is quite special. He's investigating it one day. He finds out that running through the centre of his knob is an unusual core. It's actually the Boombu Bamboo. And this makes his knob is very flexible, and very sturdy. That's the good thing about his knob. And
Pandas keep trying to eat it.
yeah, I mean, a panda will just slowly roll over and just try and just guide it into its panda mouth. But so you have to be careful with his knob when he's around pandas. Otherwise, it works just like any other knob, really. It sits on the end of the bed. He twists it about, he taps the end, and it takes him to just a magical faraway place that all the lights go weird and it's he feels shaken by the end of it, so he just lies back on the bed, having successfully worked his knob. Turns out that Nabumbu Bamboo is actually a sort of a very powerful magical receptacle. So what he does, Eglantine sees that he's spending a lot of time mucking about with his knob. She is aware that she pointed out how impressive his knob was, how special it was. She was the first one to make it glow red, sure.
Yeah.
But she thinks that she might have spoiled it now, so she thinks, right, if we return it to the source, maybe we can just have a regular run-of-the-mill knob. So they go to the island of Boombu. Not Peter Ustinov Lion, still feeling a bit annoyed about the football match, but he does agree. When Paul gets his knob out and shows it off, makes it glow, all the animals are quite impressed by that. So they go into this thicket, and there's just bamboo just pointing at them all the way. This like big is all over Eglantine's face. She's literally being prodded by this Nabumbu Bamboo all over the place. And eventually he realises that the only way he can do it is he needs to plant it in the damp soil so it'll grow. So he just keeps thrusting his knob into the soil. It keeps coming back out. He's not quite sure what he's doing. It's the first time he's really been that violent with his knob.
Yeah.
All the while, his brother and sister, they're going, yeah, go on, give it some cool, blimey, love a duck, ruddy hell.
Just for the purposes of people watching, how long is this set after the first film?
Minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So, right.
So he's there, thrusting away with his glowing knob. Eglantine just going, I should never have messed about with that knob. I should have left it as it was. And then, as he finally, with one last push, it's like the effort so much, his eyes are crossing, he's sort of like, he's properly clenching his buttocks, he's pushed his knob right into the wet soil. It seems to work, the magic spills out everywhere, and it then causes the two worlds to unite, so that they're now merges. These earths move, basically. He feels the earth move as he pushes his knob into the wet soil.
It's the longest knob gag I've ever heard in my life.
I think you'll find this is the longest knob gag.
And then he just wakes up. He's on the bed at the beginning of the first film, where it's just like, what's going on? And he sort of wakes up. He looks around. He looks through his pockets. He finds a bit of coloured glass, lovely bit of string.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a lion just walks past the window and winks at him.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then he gets his knob out.
And then he gets his knob out, and Eglantine goes, oh, would you like me to do something with your knob? And he goes, yeah, actually, I think I'll put it back on the bed where it belongs. And then he learns how to wank.
Right, very good.
Yep.
Okay. Dom?
Okay, so this is 15 years later, and the blonde boy, brackets Paul, I just didn't realise his name because he mentioned it, is now a playboy millionaire who dates around and takes his bed around the world seducing women, Aladdin style.
Nice.
But unlike Aladdin, where it's I can show you the world, he's like, we've got 20 minutes long. I'll take you up here, bish bash posh, take you down. Multiple women per night. You know, he's going around the world, right?
Player.
Exactly. He discovers, however, the love of his life is afraid of flying. So he has to woo her without magic.
Wow.
Right, that's the film. But also,
So he's using magic to get women into bed.
yes, but
That's
then the
horrifically
women.
That is really...
No, let's hang on. The bed's
really-
magic.
The
but
bed's-
they're
the bed's
still.
not- they're
It's
still-
not like hypnotising her all.
Look, if you're a
Just impressed by his beds.
19-year-old woman and a playboy millionaire,
At what point
comes
has
out-
Tom ever been a 19-year-old woman?
episode 3.
Oh, right, yeah, you're not wrong.
But to end it, he's also made the sex bed vibrate. So the sequel's called Bedrocks, Wink, and Broomsticks.
Very
You
good.
literally added an S onto your previous pub title.
That's it's a good idea. I like it.
I mean, it's got more substance than your previous pub title, certainly. I'm all right with it.
Okay, right, let's move on then to the requels. Right, okay, it's time for the requels. So let's start with Tom.
Alright, cool. This one's called Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Right.
Like it?
Yeah.
That's all right.
You know what I mean? It's just but it's like, instead of, like, I mean, it's got nothing to do with the original film. Sort of has. There's nothing, I mean, on the out, it's a biopic of an Ann Summers type strong, sexually liberated female who wants to build an empire, but is failing to grab a hold in the very competitive rubber cock market, right? And she needs a niche.
Thought police are in.
Copyright, please.
She needs a niche, and one day, whilst in a rare second-hand bookshop, and I've put in brackets, she is a hobbyist who collects rare books, and there is a whole lot of exposition what explains this, but I have not worked that out yet. Close brackets. And I put, she finds the Spells of Astaroth book and buys it because she's always been into the occult and that, open brackets, explained in earlier unexplained exposition, close brackets. And one night, someone, what she knows, crosses her, and she uses the spell to change him into a rabbit, right? But
Lovely, a rabbit with pink eyes.
no,
it's like the
better than that.
vibrating rabbit.
It's a rabbit with big vibrating ears, right? And so she turns this person into a vibrator, and she goes, "That is the most amazing vibrator ever." After using it, and it's really inappropriately horrible.
Yeah.
And so she used it, and she goes, "Christ Almighty, oof." That was good. And so she goes, so she goes around, and anyone that crosses her, she turns them into a vibrating rabbit, right? And she starts selling them in her shop. Fucking goes off mental, doesn't it? Because everyone goes wild for the rampant rabbit.
Yeah.
And all other shit happens.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's good.
There's a lion in it. And,
There's a lion.
and
Does the lion investigate all of the missing people who wronged this?
do you know what the Bedknobs are?
Go on.
The dildos. Bedknobs. Because you use it whilst you're in
Fuck,
bed.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because you can only use them when you're in bed, can't you?
Yeah.
Because that's where people do the naughties.
Do you know what? Beds are full of fuck.
What? I know. Yeah, that's why they call
Beds are
Bedknobs.
literally full of fuck. Most people sleep on a pile of fuck.
I've been down to Pulse Cocktails and seen the Bedknobs on sale.
Nice.
So you can maybe do a time promotion with them.
Pulse and Cocktails.
They'll fund it.
Watch the next episode.
Is that the one that's on the A1 northbound?
It is. Now, if people don't know about Pulse and Cocktails, Pulse and Cocktails is
A roadside attraction.
yeah, it's basically
Why they have in the States.
they've replaced all the little chefs on the A1 with branches of Pulse and Cocktails, which is an adult sex shop.
As opposed to a child sex shop. That's a fucking answer.
As opposed to the kids walking.
It's an adult sex shop, right? That's what it says. It says adult sex
It
shop.
does say that, yeah.
It does say adult sex
It's
shop.
very clear.
And it also says sexy superstore. And it takes it. They get a name Pulse and it goes to that vibration.
Basically, if you have, everyone knows the old joke about a bloke getting in trouble with the missus and buying her some flowers from a petrol station.
Yeah.
This is if you've made a massive blunder and
Yeah.
you need to buy her something that she can put in her bum.
Right, yeah. Also, I mean, and the reason they replaced all the little chefs is because no one
that'll
will
make it
drive
up to anyway.
No one will drive 40 miles
Sorry,
for a
I
shit
know,
breakfast,
shove this
but they
in
will
your
drive 40 miles to buy a rubber knob.
Yeah. Especially if it's out of the way and you can only get there on the motorway. They'll be like, I can do that with nobody noticing. Right,
So
very good.
I want to do any of the rabbits turn back into people inappropriate.
Whilst up someone. Horrific body horrors like David Cronenberg.
It's like we're talking The Fly.
Yeah, like literally, like I mean, and also in the first sequence where it happens, the guy who crossed her, he was like 7 foot tall and built like Stone Cold Steve Austin. So when he rips through a person, changing back from a rampant rabbit into a man, my God, there's some explosions there. There really is.
Coming soon on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Does Disney Channel still exist? Probably not. No. Eddie, let's see what you got.
My Requel is Tom's prequel. There we go. Now, yes.
Next step.
It's
Sean Sweet.
a crossover with the Evil Dead, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. In this,
That sounds copied off a previous entrant.
it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Can you see it working?
Yeah, we got you working there.
got
You guys working out, yeah.
In this one, it's quite similar to the plot. It's just that instead of David Tomlinson, who I'm very fond of, he's just replaced with Ash from the Evil Dead.
Right.
And Paul's book that he has with him, that is made of screaming skin.
Oh.
But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. The songs are a bit different because obviously
No songs in mine.
I like it. I don't think you want. No songs in mind. Cut that shit. That's speaking from me watching 10 minutes of that and going, there's a fucking song.
This one is in my book.
Yeah, no.
So it is not yours.
No, just saying you said it was the same.
I think you should have the same tunes but different lyrics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest,
genres.
I was gonna virtually have the same songs, just vocally.
When you fuck around with your own dildo.
Yes, but you know, with so you got sort of it's mainly Eglantine singing and Ash just going groovy.
All right.
Back, he's sort of like a hype man. He's like Flavor
I
Flav.
think we could do Dead by Dawn to the tune of Bobbing Along. Dead by Dawn.
No, I don't. Yeah. That scene. There isn't actually the bobbing along bit because he goes down into the water and just chainsaws and shotguns all of the fish and makes a massive buffet for everyone. They've just got a seafood.
They never acknowledge how they breathe underwater, do they?
Also,
Not even
magic.
there. It's like it's like
They're not wet when they come out, are they? They're like, you think, where's all
I was going to
the...
say, mate, this is about magic. This film.
Yeah. All right. Dom, what have you got for us?
Okay. So,
Oh, hang on a minute. Can we have a sweepstake on what
Oh, hang on. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. My money's take all my money. Take all my money. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
can I get to the joke before you fucking spoil it?
Too late, but carry on.
Pretty much the same story, but Angela Lansbury is played by Oprah.
Oh,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
not Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No.
Wait for it.
The kids are played by some fuckers from Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Couldn't give a shit who, don't care.
They're all brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all brilliant.
They are basically all carbon copies of each other now until the Disney contract ends, and then they go and off the fucking rails, basically.
Spoken like a true Disney shareholder.
The dodgy bloke is played by Boy George. I thought, that'd be an interesting casting.
Did you recently watch the episode?
What do you mean, dodgy bloke?
Well, no, not Brucey.
The bookkeeper guy down in the cellar. You will know what we're on about.
Did you?
Instead of
Is this the Bruce Forsyth character?
Did you recently
No, it's
watch
after him,
the
so-
episode of 18 that he's in, where Mr. T gives the least convincing, "Boy George, my man."
I did not. But
Oh, right,
we will
well,
YouTube
Will
that.
now, eh?
Yeah.
Instead of the cartoon, they actually go to Tron Island.
Oh.
And we use the CGI of the modern day as the 80s was. And we look at that.
Yeah.
And yes,
Bedknobs.
Dwayne Johnson plays the bed. And so
His greatest role yet.
the title is the title is Bed James the Rock Johnson and Broomsticks.
Wait a minute. So we get to watch a good 2 hours of Dwayne.
He is like this.
Of Dwayne with a couple of pensioners and 3 kids rolling around on his back, holding on
He
to
is
their life.
planking for the entire time.
I'm not saying it's not impressive. I'm just saying it's not appropriate.
Is
And has he got the bed knob in his mouth?
when you
No,
say
no.
Twist it, yeah.
when you say he's like the bed, is he just some skin stretched over like that old person in
He is
Doctor
literally
Who's
like
just a piece of
this,
skin?
planking. He is planking. They are sat on him. He is that strong.
They're using him as furniture.
Yes.
Like what they used to do on plantations in the old past.
Not quite. No.
Because that's wrong, Dom.
Yeah,
You need to
mate,
love
that's-
that.
I mean, at best, it sounds like that weird moose bed from Return to Oz. And at worst,
That was a hybrid, though, of different
It
things,
was,
wasn't
yeah. And
Is
then
that the animal or the hair product?
it just, they put a little bit on the ground, just expanded it, and they all got on and flew home. Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, okay. Whatever you want, that's fine. No, what have you got for us?
I've got pretty much a straight remake. It's like, because I like the film, just update it. Emily Blunt.
Plays everybody.
Plays everybody.
She's doing Mary Poppins, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to get in before that. This is coming out today. It's before Mary
Kate
Poppins.
Winslet's playing Eglantine in the remake.
No, it's not. That was a fan-made
I like
poster.
that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hugh Bonneville as Professor.
Yeah, okay.
That can work. Still set in World War II.
Yeah.
But this time, the characters actually behave logically.
Much shorter film, though.
Fucking shit. And like the eldest kid, it's explained that he was dropped on his head as a baby, and that's why he's so incredibly thick and stupid.
The elder.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Does he come across as thick in the first film?
Well, I think if you see a witch who has got like supernatural magical powers, would your first thought be, I'm going to extort money from that person
No,
who might
it
be
would
able
not
to
be.
kill me
Yeah,
and murder you in unexplainable ways?
Yeah, you're right.
No, but he's a geezer, isn't he? He's always on the fiddle.
And then
Give me
you
some
know, you
longer.
see them fly a broom and then turn you into a rabbit, and then they say, "Oh, we're going to fly somewhere in this bed," and you go, "Oh, I don't believe you."
Yeah.
He's like, "She just turned you
Yeah.
into a rabbit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
going to sway you a little bit.
Still disbelieving.
To be honest, I've met men like that.
His spell didn't work very well. It didn't last for very long. So perhaps he was thinking, I'm not getting on that fucking bed because it's going to crash.
Well, yeah, if
12
he had said
seconds
that,
into
that,
12
that
seconds
might have
into
been
the flight.
believable.
Yeah.
He was saying, I don't believe it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
And
And that made her sing a big song about
And then
age of not believing, yeah.
Not that
I
any
ain't
of
going
them are
anywhere
any-
on that magic bed with you, strange woman. I've only known for only a couple of hours.
Well, yeah, they.
Although technically you're my mum because it's the war now, isn't it?
Also, you've just feeded me net. Also, you have.
They spend a couple of days with him, and they're going to the bloke. Will you be our dad? Even though in the kind of film I saw, it's not explained that they're orphans; they're just evacuated.
Oh, yeah,
kids.
there's-
I'm thinking, they
There's a
have
delete.
parents.
There is. Have you seen? There's a deleted scene where they explain they've got no parents.
Right.
Which version did you watch
The
then?
2-hour one. They
Right.
cut the 2-hour version, which according to IMDb, they booked it in for premiere at Radio City
Yep.
Theatre in New
But
York.
you've got to have it under 2 hours to cut.
Well, they said the explanation I read said because the stage is so long, the film has to be under 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now I recognise that as a sentence, but the first half doesn't seem to
Yeah.
bear any
Yeah.
relation. The second half, I was going, can anyone explain to me why
that is
having a big
weird.
stage
It's probably
has to be under
probably
2
that.
hours?
I mean, it's probably about the running time, and it probably have to.
Well, yeah,
fit
that's
so
what
many.
have to do with the
No, but
stage.
it's so
The stage
many.
might collapse.
It won't, no, it won't have
after 2
ultimate
hours.
stage. I don't know why. It's,
That's what it said. It said because the stage is so long.
I thought they
it
were
has
on
to be
about
under
the
2
screen
hours.
because they can only screen a certain amount. I mean, on reels back in them days, wasn't it? So,
Well, the local
was
theatre
weird.
saying
They
that's
have longer films than
until...
that, though. It was 1971.
yeah, I don't get it. Yeah.
It was
So
like,
But
they've never shown Gone with the Wind there.
I'll tell you what.
or
There's,
like any of those
the
Roman
2-hour
ones,
version.
Spartacus and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, any of the bed.
I'll tell you what. There is a deleted scene. There's a deleted scene that explains why that vicar's so fucking
Oh, yes.
weird. He's like,
He
he's
was a
after
much
the land.
bigger- he was
Yeah,
gonna-
he's
he was
after
trying to
her
buy
house.
her.
He's trying to get with her so he can have
right.
her land. There's like 3 scenes. There's
They
like
cut that
typical
that
case
story
all
out.
out, yeah.
Yeah, because I think they could cut 20 minutes out
Yeah,
really
yeah.
late on.
So now he's just
And a lot more dancing in bloody Portobello
They
Road.
didn't put any of the
from
dancing.
No,
Yeah.
they did. They cut 6 minutes from
Yeah,
the dancing.
yeah,
It was even longer.
Yeah, with them trying more hats and shit on. It's like, no, you've had enough. I've got one. Have you
Just well, also later on as well, it's we get an explanation of why, although we only see 3 suits of armor in the castle, there's a fucking line of them across the horizon. According to IMDb, there were more suits of armor on that ridge than exist in all of England.
yeah.
So you see, it's kind of like a fish in the 5 loaves scenario.
Yeah,
She gets the armor, but then multiplies it. So it's not just like, where did 1,000 suits of armor come from?
Yeah, no, there probably weren't even 1,000 suits of armor, full suits of armor at the time,
No.
because they were hugely expensive, and only the
Oh,
very
they borrowed
wealthy.
them from El Cid.
Oh,
Got them cheap.
no, I meant, you know,
But yes,
from that
even
period
in that period.
in English history.
No,
yeah.
there isn't that many.
No.
And also, they don't get a full magical book out of it and then just go, oh, we'll just get the one spell out of that and leave it behind.
Yeah.
It's like a book full of magic.
Yeah. There might be some other useful
And
things
then
in there.
go, I've got...
How to end the war spell.
Well, exactly. 'Cause
Apparently this spell's called Fat Man and Little Boy.
well, this is it. She doesn't give up being a witch. That's
Yeah.
one minor setback. And she has supernatural powers. So she gets the book. She rebuilds her lab. She gets the bed to go to Germany. She works on her rabbit spell. So she turns all of the Nazi high command into rabbits permanently.
Yeah.
And that ends the war. Oh, and the rabbits emigrate to an area of Germany called Wasserschiff Nieder, which translates as Warship Down. So next time you watch Warship Down and know what you get sad about the rabbits dying, just remember they're all Nazis.
Rabbits die! Spoilers!
Can there be a bit in it where Churchill comes along and goes to the little Hitler rabbit and goes, mine hair. Because he was witty.
We will
wasn't he?
find them in the
Rings his neck.
hatches!
Well, yeah,
Strips him and eats him.
yeah, just whole.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't even know.
That's what Churchill used to do. Rabbit, gullet. That's his big neck.
Yeah.
Rabbit pouch in there.
Yeah.
Whack a rabbit.
It was
Whack a rabbit.
Yeah, whack a rabbit.
it was full of coney, that mate. Absolutely
Winston
loaded with
Whacker
coney.
Rabbit Churchill. That's what it's called.
Right, okay. My requel then, very quickly, is called Knobs and Sticks Inc. It's set in modern day. Miss Price is a trainee witch living in Pepperidge High. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, Pepperidge
I
Eye.
don't know. They blanked out all of the.
Oh, he would have twat, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know, so I'm blanking all the things out. He says it right there.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
what the Nazis would
All the
say.
Nazis all come around here.
I'm captain in the British Army, you know.
So she's living. So Trainee Witch living in Pepperidge Eye, a small US town, because it's in the US. This one. When an evil sorcerer threatens New York, children are sent away. 3 are sent to live with Miss Price, who discovers she's a witch through several hilarious reveals, more than were in that film. I thought they could have really, what's the word? Sponged off that, because they could have got loads of footage out of it, and they didn't.
Sorry, I got distracted by drawing a face.
Well, Dom should be paying attention.
Sorry.
Go to your room. I said he has got a room as well. This is the toy room. I fucking can't remember now. It's
right in front of you.
I know, but we're out in the mud.
Hilarious reveals.
Right, the kids, do you know, when she reveals her a witch, they see her and they're like, oh, she's a fucking witch, she's flying up broom. They could have, drew that out for another 3 deleted
16
scenes.
minutes.
Yeah, going, oh, well.
They could have had a We Spotted a Dance.
So anyway, there's that. Then, so Mr. Brown, owner of Knobs and Sticks Incorporated, makers of magical items, that's what they do, right? He meets Miss Price at a magic convention where they have a romantic encounter, and Mr. Brown gives her his knob.
Folsom cocktails.
Folsom cocktails.
Folsom cocktails, sorry. This takes them on a magical journey to take down the evil sorcerer that hadn't been mentioned for an hour and a half. That's all I got.
Now you see the way you're being threatened. They're being threatened by magical means, which is the opposite to the original, where it's very, very much traditional war.
Yeah.
Solved with magic. So what they should have done is get a load of Spitfires and Hurricanes and blow the shit out of the wizard with them. That would be good. Just a load of World War II artillery and fuck them up.
There's room for that.
Yeah. It'll be exciting though, because it'll be like dam busters at the end.
Yeah. All right, and then the sorcerer grows and starts smashing.
Climbs up the Empire State Building. Yeah.
All right, shall we get on to let's pick the winners. Okay, everybody, it's time for the recaps and let's pick some winners. So, Dom, your prequels, please.
It's a Flintstones crossover. Dino's gone missing. Wilma uses the occult to find him, and it's called Bedrock and Broomsticks.
I've got I forgot to say what mine was called. It's called the Degeneration Game.
That's changed everything.
It has. Mine is literally called the Spiv.
The Degeneration Game, kind of falling down type story of how Brucey turned into the nasty piece of work that shows up in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
And mine is a slightly less thought out version of that, but with largely the same set of jokes.
Okay, mine was Mr. Brown's School Days, Hogwarts tie-in, all that business going on. Nick's the spellbook of Dumbledore runs off, starts selling it, leads directly into the first film. Yours was?
Mine was a crossover Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
We've already heard it twice.
Ash versus the Disney Dead.
Okay. Right, so what do we think?
See, I'd love to vote for Tom just to annoy you later on, but it's not a prequel.
I'm not voting for it. It's not a
If
prequel.
you'd have done it as a requel.
Right, I'm going to vote for Knowles because I think it was a bit more
No, Knowles is a better
thought
version
out
of
than
mine.
yours,
so
and you had more Brucey jokes in.
Yeah. No, I'm
purely
I'm-
for that.
And
Yeah.
the comical movie name once he actually told us.
No, I'm very much voting for Knowles because it's like voting for a good version of myself. So I'm all right. I'm happy to do it.
I am the man you
go with
wish
Knowles.
you were.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, Knowles got it.
Always.
Knowles got it. So sequels, Dom, what you got?
Sequel. The poor little blonde boy, 15 years later, is a playboy millionaire, seduces women on his bed, Aladdin style, but multiple a night, discovers the love of his life, doesn't like flying, so he has to woo her without magic. Also made the sex bed vibrate. It's called Bedrock, Wink, and Broomsticks.
Very good.
Mine was Bedknobs and Broomsticks 2, Electric Naboo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wins on best title alone. That is brilliant. Yeah.
Whoa! You win!
I was just so annoyed.
Oh, you know.
Do you want me to get it?
Oh, yeah.
Look, continuity is the worst thing about this episode.
We were doing so well.
Keep it together, guys. We're
No,
nearly there.
I meant it's won the best title
Right,
award. Not
where were we?
necessarily
So it's basically the animals led by King Leonidas come for revenge because it's basically the plot of Black Panther.
Black Panther is a completely different film.
And a bit of 300 in there for a good measure. Kicking Angela Lansbury down a well. Sorry, this isn't about. I can't say it. Nah. Boom,
Right, okay. Mine was Bedknobs and Broomsticks 2, set 1 month after the events of Bedknobs and Broomsticks 1. She gets her witch friends together because Mr. Brown has been kidnapped in a POW camp. They go there, save the day, blah, blah, blah. Hitler, hilarious painting scene, remember that?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Might get these well. Anyway, that was that. So,
mine was the grown-up kids versus the Cray twins. Bedknobs and some fucking underground gangster violence shit.
right.
Bedknobs and toilets.
Yeah, Bedknobs and bastards.
Bedknobs and gangsters.
Yeah, Bedknobs and that. Yeah.
Bedknobs and gangland. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, Eddie.
Mine was where we find out what it has to do with Paul's knob.
Yeah. The long knob
the-
guy.
the-
long knob. The long.
good knob day.
Yeah.
The
I'm gonna go for Dom's. I like it. It was different. I liked the idea that he's going around and on his magic bed and using it for illicit purposes.
I found that problematic in this day.
No, we explained why it was okay still.
I mean, with hashtag Me
It's a
Too,
Disney film.
I just found
Yeah,
it very problematic.
but he
Very
wasn't. He was not
problematic.
using magic to
Doesn't matter.
cast a spell on them.
I mean,
he's mainly
still-
using the
I'm
magic
not
as a
condoning
means of
people do
transportation.
it in real life. I'm just saying it would make an interesting
It's a
film.
bit too Harvey for my taste.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought in the current climate, I thought that it was just it's a step backwards.
All right.
Oh, it's
Fair enough.
I like-
You righteous bastard.
I want to see the Hitler being taunted by his painting. I like that.
Yeah, I really
idea a
like
lot.
that one.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going to
go for
vote
that.
for that.
All right. I don't really like yours, though. Sorry. All right. Thank you. Right. Let's move on. Don't bang the table again. We ain't got time to pick that cover up again.
Oh, so close.
Right. Requels. Come on. You can redeem yourself with this.
No, he can't.
Oh God! I just remembered what your prequel was. Yeah, you're not winning, mate.
Definitely your best shot. So.
Same cast, same plotline. Apart from going to Tronland, it's the cartoons. Oprah plays Angela Lansbury, whatever she is.
She plays Angela Lansbury.
Pretty much. The kids are some fuckers from Disney Channel,
Oh, yeah.
and Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Oh yeah.
is the bed the
Human
entire
bed.
time. The title is Bed, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and Broomsticks.
For that,
Brilliant.
For that title, you're not winning.
Yeah.
Not voting for that.
I mean, and if you had a different
I find it
title, you're
problematic.
still not winning.
No.
Pretty much straight remake, bit updated, Emily Blunt and that, but people act logically this time.
Oh,
They
yeah,
keep the magic book. Oh, I forgot to mention, they replay the football game. It's properly refereed this time. They've got the VAR system installed.
All right. So yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Right, so none of that.
And they go off and obviously win the war at the end because they're supernatural. They've got powers. They don't just go,
Yeah.
oh, well, let's millions of people die while they go and fight
Yeah,
the
that
war.
is a bit
I'm
weird,
gonna
isn't
go
it?
and
Yeah,
be a nice little
Well,
housewife
this
of the country.
tiny corner of England is safe. Everyone else can go.
If only there was some way of stopping more things. When you will keep singing about loads of shit.
Right, well, I'm going to go back to boiling my nettles.
Yeah, that's true. And also, there must be other magic users, which is what I touched on as my sequel then. Anyway, mine was just it's set in modern day, mispriced, blah, 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 peppery jive. Evil sorcerer threatens New York, children are sent to her. Don't get mentioned again for some reason. Mr. Brown is the owner of Knobs and Sticks Incorporated, makers of magical items. He meets her at a magic conference and they have an encounter. He shows her a knob, blah, blah, blah. Got a magical journey to take down the sorcerer. Possibly in World War II's bit violence. Yeah, all that.
Mine was Bedknobs, dildos.
Pulse and cocktails, wasn't it?
Yeah, about pulse and cocktails, basically. About the owner of a sex shop, adult sex shop, Empire, and a magical power.
That's the creepiest bit, and it's someone bursts someone by turning into a man.
Yeah. That's good, that bit.
Well, the bit where the lady gets burst. No, it isn't.
No, it wasn't a lady. No, it was up another man.
How forward thinking of you.
Yeah.
Someone gets burst.
Yeah, I know. Best bit.
Disney home video.
Right, in
So that's
mine
a
as
Jeremy
well.
Beadle getting you 250 quid.
No CGI. They did it using animatronics like the Thing.
Oh, good.
Fucking wonderful. They're still very good at it. There's people out there with the skills to create fantastic
The
animatronics.
original film did win the Oscar for best special effects.
Did it?
So pretty good. That's the kind of
There we go. That's the caliber that that's the bar we're aiming at.
Eddie, yours was Tom's.
Mine was Tom's. Not quite. It was the same thing all over again, but David Tomlinson gets a break and Ash from the Evil Dead replaces him. Not Bruce Campbell. Ash from the Evil Dead.
All right.
It's Paul, and the book that Paul has is made of crying living skin.
Right.
I'm going to go for Eddie because it was in the right category.
No, don't use this.
And also because Tom had said it most of it, it was quite short. So that's why you're getting that vote.
Don't vote for me to teach him a lesson. That's
I
not
don't give a shit.
What does everybody else think?
I'm going to vote for Tom.
I'm going to vote for Tom.
Somebody got burst.
I'm going to vote for
To be
Tom.
honest, I'm glad that it's an adult sex shop.
Well, you vote
There is that scene where the kids walk in and he's like, get out of here, kids. This is the adults. Go down the road. Go down the road to the kids one.
You there, you little larrikins. The kids' sex shop is down on the corner.
on Portobello Road.
Portobello Road, where they sell.
What do you mean I sell half a deal down? What do you think I am?
That's it.
Oh my God! Right, so we've picked Tom's. Is that the general? Yeah. So right, excellent. Done.
that it?
That's done. They'll be making that and then 3 films.
If you think we got even close to what the Bedknobs and Broomsticks remake is going to look like, then
Well, we'll see. When's the remake due out?
They're not doing one.
They are.
They're not doing one.
Oh, we've wasted time.
Click Chris's face to find out if they're doing it.
The whole rumour came from a fan-made poster, which is actually just it's a Photoshop image of loads of posters with Kate Winslet as her. It's not happening.
All right. Waste of time. No, it was still great.
No, it was a waste of time.
It was.
But, why change
How on
the
earth is
format?
this?
Well, speaking of wasting times, don't forget to tune in next time when we will be wasting your time again.
Waste of all time now.
It wasn't a waste of time. It was magical and glorious, just like the film that we were commenting on.
I mean, it would have been so much better if
Can we close? Right, wait, say good night, Tom.
Good night.
See you next time.
Establish the law. Sequel. Then give us some more.